Hello again and welcome back to Charlie's Trains. And the one thing about the name Charlie's Trains, I came across this young lad in the UK who has a website, or at least a YouTube site, called Charlie's Trains. So I thought, I should probably change this up a little bit and give the young lad an opportunity to grow his followers. So I'm calling it Charlie M's Trains, just to add a little bit of confusion. Anyway, I've made some progress and changes here on the layout, and I'm now working on a third track on the table level, so that I'll actually have three trains running around here all the time. One of them, the inner line, most likely would be the goods train, and then the two outside lines will be for passenger and high-speed trains. We'll see how it goes. So in the process of building this and laying the track, this is the first layout I've done, so it's all been very challenging. I didn't tie the track down completely, and as a result, and especially around points, which I had in this area here, where I was laying out some sidings, I found that as the trains came around, they would bob up on the points because they weren't tied down, or maybe at a rail joint, and it would cause the locos to stop and stutter. But another thing happened, and that was when I did decide to pin down the tracks. Not really sure if you'll see this, but that's a Pico track pin. Now look how small that is. And I'll show you what happens sometimes. And this is the type of thing that happens, right? It's just, they bend so easily, very fragile. However, I have found another solution, and that is I came across these track screws. They're tiny little screws, and they go in really well. They don't bend, and they keep the track in place. So when I've finalised things, I'll start using those screws. So for the purpose of demonstration, I have the third line partially laid out, and I've got a diesel class 25 pushing a freight train around, just to test the track, you know, because it's all about running trains. So that runs pretty smoothly, and it's telling me that, you know, track's okay. I can pin it down if I'm happy with it, and then I'll get the trains running. I've got this WD 280 running around here, and it's a very fine model, really beautiful. And it does run very smoothly, except, you know, on this occasion the points were giving it a little bit of trouble, which is a good indication that they're not sitting properly. Anyway, it's fun to run trains, and that's what it's all about. And as you can see, it's not always perfect. There's little challenges, and it's a real learning process as I go through this. And at the weekend I was at the Plate Layer Society Symposium, and it's a group of British Railway enthusiasts in southern Ontario. So they had a couple of presentations. One was on 3D printing, which I was really interested in because I have a 3D printer and I know how it all works, and I've got a couple of ideas to print some stuff out. Anyway, the guy was very good in explaining it. And then there was another one on the use of Arduinos. Now, the thing is, the hobby is just appears to be an old person's hobby, unfortunately, because the average age was probably 75 at this symposium. But there were people there who had made Gauge 1 locomotives right down to the very last rivet. It was just unbelievable stuff. And a great bunch of guys. And I thought, I should really try and clear out some of the stuff that I have. I've got duplicates, probably like all of you out there. And one of the things I was trying to move was an APT set in a box and a Bachmann Harry Potter set, which I have a duplicate of. Now, some friends have this set and they actually run it, and it's a beautiful locomotive, runs really smoothly, and I think the coaches are Lima Mark 1s, so it's a beautiful set and maybe a bit of a collector's item at this point in time. And both these, the APT and the Harry Potter set, are selling for a lot of money on eBay. And I think what I'll do is I'll put them up there on eBay at a reasonable price, and I'll take the first reasonable offer basically. And here's something you may have seen on one of the videos. Now this is a car carrier, and I have quite a number of these complete with the cars on them. And a little trick that John at Champs 123 passed on was this is blue tack, or in this case white tack, and it's great for temporary securing the car to the carrier, so that they don't wobble around or fall off. But this here is an old Spitfire Airfix model kit that I had, and I had seen something like this. I think it was Model Rail magazine or the BRM magazine, and I decided to try and replicate it, so I cut up a broken one of these, and then I covered the cockpit area with tissue paper and painted it green to give it that tarpaulin look to cover up the cockpit area. So quite an interesting little model, easy to do if you have an old Airfix kit and one of these. You might want to try that. Now, this is the layout that my friend Mike Smith suggested for me. In this particular case, there are two upper and two lower tracks and some sidings here at the what might be the station end, and I think that's the way I'll go. I'll try and create a small station here, and while I can't replicate these sidings, I will have 3 or 4 sidings up the other end. Now, this was sketched out assuming the sizes were correct. However, it's a bit narrower than what you see on the the little sketch here. So what I've ended up with is long curves around both sides, which allows for very smooth running. And in this area back here, which I think you've seen, is where the sidings will be coming out from these points and filling this area. And I've yet to come up with the methodology of bringing a bridge from that location across the tracks over the siding onto the other side, but we'll get to that. Another thing I was trying to do was come up with a model of a Clyde puffer. Now I found a dimensional drawing in one of these boat magazines and was able to construct the cabin and bridge out of plasticard and foam core. And I constructed a sort of waterline structure representing the shell and hull of the ship, or the boat in this case. It's far from finished, but it's a sort of good first attempt. I had also taken a piece of balsa wood and thought I would try and use that. I've still to finish off the bow and the stern so that it looks right, but you know, that might also be the way to approach it. However, it means I would have to have a McGregor hatch cover or something similar on top here, whereas in this one I've made the hatch completely open. This may be the simpler solution, but it was just another little thing I'd thought about, maybe having it sitting here in a small dock. But that's further down the line, as they say. There are other pressing things to be done. Anyway, I hope you can see this. That is the little track screw. Tiny little thing, and you can get them on eBay or Amazon. I just don't recall which one, but they are available in packets of 20, 50, 100, and they're not that expensive, and they really do the job. You just have to drill the sleeper with a small pin and then drop these in and screw them down. And I'm screwing them onto Homosote. I don't know if you, in the UK, you call it Sandela or something similar, whatever the correct pronunciation is, but it's used here in Canada as an insulation material in the building industry. And it's easy to pin to or screw into, and makes it much easier than just putting it down on top of plywood. So there's the class 25. So there's still a couple of locations around the track that are a problem, which I still have to resolve. Maybe file off some of the soldering, which I haven't really mastered yet, but it went through okay that time. Yeah, I got this a number of years back on eBay, I think it was, for a great price, and it's a beautiful looking locomotive, and as you can see, as long as the track's okay, it will run very, very smoothly. So as you can see, I've made a bit of progress in the layout and quite happy with it. I have to resolve how I'm going to wire up the third track permanently, and you know, I may end up using the little power unit that I spoke about last time. And you know, a friend had said to me, well, why don't you use a transformer from a laptop, something like that, you know, even if it's 15 volts, it will give you 3 volts to spare. So I'll try and think that one through and see if I can modify it and attach this, and that'll enable me to have 3 separate tracks powered independently. And there's the advantage of DCC, but DCC requires a financial investment that I'm not prepared to go to at this point in time, and I'll go with the DC analog style of running. And you know, even with old locomotives like this, an old Triang Princess, it's great to see it running here, and it will run around the track. And as a friend of mine said, just make sure the track is clean, the wheels are clean, and the points and the rail joints are clean and not too much solder on it. You know, these Triangs will run freely on this Pico track, so I'll certainly give that a go. And I'm looking forward to the day when my friend Mike Smith films and puts his railway up online, because he built single-handedly this massive 20 by 30 foot layout. It is just an incredible thing, and you should look forward to seeing it. I'll try and keep you posted of the progress and when he might decide to do this. But in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this little update, and there's lots more to follow here on this particular posting. You can see a number of the trains that I've been testing out on the track, give you an idea of what I've got here. And yeah, sure, if you're interested in my APT set or the Harry Potter set, drop me a line and you know, we'll work something out. Anyway, bye for now.